One of the main groups that's funding improvements in practices in agriculture would be CPGs, consumer packaged goods companies. So you're like food and beverage companies, the big brands that everybody recognizes one way or another on the shelves. They're investing a lot of money in it. And even so, like they can't afford to invest at the level that it would take to fully de-risk and offset the risk and cost of practice transition for farmers. And even in spite of that, a lot of farmers are making that change because they know the benefit of it on the other side. So even a shared risk model with just one funding source is gaining traction, right? So sure, is my cost of transition potential risk, let's say it's $50 an acre to get a cover crop in there and a little bit of yield penalty or whatever, and that's the first couple of years. And I think by year 3 or 4, I'll largely offset that with production efficiencies. Well, if I get to sign up a program that's a 3 to 5 year program or whatever it is, and I'm getting $15 an acre is a more realistic payment as to what's out there today with a single funding source. That's enough to get some guys off the fence. It's like, I've been wanting to do this. That's enough of a nudge. I'll do it. But where it really, really starts to sing, I think, is when you're able to start thinking about can we stack programs and sources of funding? So we've got, government funding that's been around for forever to fund sort of trials of these practices, which can be a great catalyst. But the reality we see with government funding is you get this good 3 years of a pretty significant per acre investment. But then by statute, it's only for 3 years and you can't re-up. So now at the end of 3 years, if you didn't quite make it work inside of that 3 years, or you thought it's kind of a headache to go and plant an extra thing, and I don't have any reason to keep doing it, I didn't see the benefits on that timeline. The general numbers on it are about half of all the acres that got that kind of investment go right back to conventional practices when that investment falls off. So like credit to, USDA, NRCS, the folks that have been running these programs, like they've been doing it for 80 some odd years. And it's great, beautiful work, but it has its limitations, right? So this is where I get excited about the market mechanism here is sure, can we expect the CPG at the end of the line to foot the whole bill now until forever? Absolutely not. But now if you start to connect the dots here, you can say, okay, we need that extra transition boost financing. That's a great role for government to play, sort of that first loss capital, that de-risking financing. It's the whole purpose for most government programs, de-risking farm and food production, right? So de-risk that first 3 years with that extra boost incentive, keep those practices in place with the ongoing market incentive from maybe that downstream buyer of your commodity. And then what I think it's really exciting is moving away from thinking about this as carbon credits, we only have a single beneficiary. We think about this as data that goes across the production system. You get the ag input companies that are trying to innovate around climate, but their motivation to innovate, it's not unlike pharmaceutical companies that their motivation to innovate is, can I have a patented thing that I can sell with these innovations that I make? So they want to innovate towards climate, like they know this is a future, but they just want to get on more acres. So now if you're saying I've got this downstream CPG that wants more efficient production, and I've got this upstream seed designer or ag input designer that's trying to make it more efficient, now can we connect the dots? And these guys get to be on more acres because the farmers may select that product, all else held equal. It's if it's getting them to a better, lower footprint that then they're getting incentivized for with the downstream. So now this is where you start to get to the power of collective investment and collaborative, mutually beneficial action. So that's I think the unlock that we're working on. And we're, a little company that just does a quantification piece. So we can't make all those things come together, but what we can do is create that kind of digital infrastructure that provides a data layer around which this value can be created and shared. And that's what gets me excited about. Like, we're never going to get there with buying carbon credits, just to be blunt. Like, that I think is kind of beyond debate. They're a great tool. It's a yes and with all of this stuff, as as you guys see in climate, right? It's a yes and in everything. Like, yeah, we need everybody, and let's not debate perfect over the good, but some things do work better than others. And that market mechanism aligning incentives across the chain, I think, is a really exciting future for ag.